Hello and welcome to Vagipe tutorial 1, and we are looking at the main chat room layout today. So as you can see, we begin here on the main page, and there's lots of different things going on here, but we'll look at those in later tutorials, because for right now we want to focus on this section right here, which is the enter the chat button. I'll zoom it in a bit closer so we can get a proper look at it. Here we go. As you can see, there's a lovely young lady here who is representative of some of the lovely ladies that come to this site to find charming conversations, and we want to click this large blue button here which says enter the chat, so we shall do that now, and unsurprisingly we will enter the chat. Okay, so this is the main rooms page. As you can see here, right in the middle we've got a list of a number of different rooms, and I'll zoom into this now to give us a better look. So here we go, and as you can see there's a list of different named rooms. As we scroll down you can see the various room names. On the left hand side we have this green button, which means that this room is able to be entered. We have a full button, which means that the room is currently full up. For non-premiums that means the limit is 40 people, and then this red button means that you are not eligible for this chat room. And as we scroll up you can see a column of numbers which represents how many people are in each room at this time, and on the right there is a description of what type of room it is. So there are the family rooms, male and female rooms, 18 plus rooms, unmoderated rooms, etc. So let's go to a quiet room for now so that we can talk privately about the various functions of the chat room layout. Here we go. So this is the main chat room screen before you now. We have the Your Camera section. We have the Upload Picture section. We have the room bar at the top here. And the text bar is down the bottom here. And this whole area makes up the chat box section. And then on the right hand side we have the profile list section, which tells you who is currently in the room, and then along the top here we have the video screens. So now let's zoom in and take a closer look at each of these sections. So here we have the main chat box. This is where you'll be spending most of your attention, and where all of the main chat and private messages will appear, right on this section in the middle. So let's zoom in at the top and take a closer look. So here, as I said before, is the room bar. Here is the room's name. It will also contain your private messages, but we'll look at that later on. Next to the bar name you have what type of room it is. This is an adult room, so you can talk about grown-up things if you want. And then right here is the exit button to take you back to the room selection screen. And now let's take a look at the bottom of the chat box. Here we have the text section where you will type any messages that you want people to read on the main chat or in your PMs. And then over on the right here we have a font color selector. This starts off as a perv grey as standard, which is a little Vagipe joke. Only the pervs use grey. And here is a selection of font types. As I'm a poor free member, I only get 2. But for you lucky premium users, you get even more. So that is the chat section. Let's take a closer look at the Your Video section now. Over here. So let's zoom in and take a closer look. And here we go. So this box here is where you can view what your video camera will be showing. In order to publish your video for everyone to see, you have to click this button here, which is publish, and your cam will connect, and then you'll be viewed by the public. There I am, Mr. Monkey Doo. Hello everyone. It's nice to see you all. I'm just relaxing in my comfy computer couch. And then down here we have a selection of buttons. The first one is the mic button, which allows people viewing your cam to also hear your microphone. When it is bright red, that means it is switched on, and grey means it is switched off. Next one is the Away from Keyboard button. AFK stands for Away from Keyboard for anyone who is not web savvy, and this just lets people know that you are unavailable for chat you're away from your keyboard doing something different. And then the next button along is the settings button, which we will take a closer look at now. So here is the settings box. You have three sections. You have the cam permission section, filter requests from users, and filter private messages. So the first we'll look at is cam permissions. This allows you to filter out who can and cannot view your webcam. So we have female, male, and couples. You have three choices. You can automatically accept people, or you can set it to ask, which will send you a message telling you that someone wants to view your cam. And then the final choice is deny, which will automatically tell people to leave you alone and ignore all requests from that type of user. So as you can see, I have female set to accept, male set to ask, and couples set to ask as well. The next is filter requests from users. You can filter out requests from people without cams, people without real tags, and people without premium tags, which we will explain at a later point. Filter private messages. These are the messages between you and one other user. You can choose to filter these completely and switch them off, or again you can have without premium and without real tags. So that just helps you to thin out the number of people that will be private messaging you. And the final button is to activate chat sounds, which are a number of bing and bong type alerts telling you that someone has left you a message or other such functions. And that is the settings box. Next up, we'll take a look at the upload picture box, which is right here. This allows you to upload pictures from your computer, as well as view pictures from other people within the room. And just to note, everyone in the room can see the pictures that you upload, unless you have blocked them. This button on the right can switch it on and off. With a tick in it, it is switched on, and if you switch it off, that means no one can, you will not see anyone's pictures, and you will not be able to upload any pictures. Some people like to do this as they don't like the pictures that appear. You can just switch them off, just like that, and it's done. So we'll leave it switched on for now, and if you click upload pictures, it will open up a box to search your hard drive. You just select a file that you want to upload and click OK, and up it appears. You can also maximize these pictures by clicking on them, and it will display them full size over the chat box. So onwards we go to the profile list. Here you can see the list of people that are within the room. This button here represents whether you are a man or a woman. For a man it is a blue man, and for a woman it is a red little woman. Next is the cam button that shows you whether or not the person has a cam and whether or not it's active. If it's dark, that means it's inactive, and if it's light, that means that the person has an active cam that you can request. You can also see the person's name on the right, but if we select it, you will be given a selection of other information. At the top you have the person's name, you have what gender they are, you have their age, whether or not they have a cam, you have the real tags and premium tags, which will be explained in a later tutorial. Up the top you have the Vagipe level, which will also be explained in a later tutorial, and then you have a couple of buttons which allow you to do certain options. This first one is the hi button, or private message button. If you click it, you will open up a private message to this particular user, and so you can talk one-on-one privately with that person. If you select the more plus button, you are given a set of extra options. You can view a person's Vagipe profile, which may have more information about who they are, as well as gallery photos and videos and other such things as this. You can choose to send them a private message, which is exactly the same as the hi button, or you can ask to request their cam, which will send a message saying you would like to view them, and then they can accept, deny you, or whatever. And the final button is quite important. This is the block button, and this allows you to block off anyone that you don't want to talk to. They may be hassling you with messages you don't want, or putting things on the main chat that you're just not interested in and would rather it not appear and get in the way of the conversation that you're having. So it can block them, and that will just take them out of your chat experience. It will also stop pictures that they send up appearing in your upload section. And so you can see there they have an orange name, which means they are blocked. And then if we open it back up, you can click it again to unblock them, and it will return to a white colour. which means they are now unblocked and back in your main chat experience. Now let's have a look at private messages. So as you can see, the room name has now changed to MonkeyDo, which means I'm having a private message with MonkeyDo. If I want to go back to the main room, I click the button for the drop down box, and there you have this choice between Coffee House and MonkeyDo, or any other messages that you might be running at the same time. So let's look at the other options that we have with private messages. You have the X button, which will close that private message and end that private chat session, and you also have the box button, which allows you to put a private message into a smaller box rather than it taking up your entire main chat screen. So we'll just click that now to show you what that does. Here we go. And then you can move this about inside the chat window and have your private message separate from everything else. So you can be having a private message there as well as keeping track of what's happening on the main chat screen. And then you can minimize this into a small bar if you want to just put it out of the way for a moment. Re-enlarge it to carry on your conversation and minimize it again. Also, it's good to note that if someone sends you a private message when you're not paying attention, that box will actually light up and indicate that someone is trying to message you. So if we now click the X button, that will disappear. Bye bye. And we'll move on to the videos section. You can have, as a free user, you can have 3 videos at any one time. For a premium user, this goes up to 5 videos. But as I said, I'm just a poor free user, so I have to cope with 3. So let's zoom in on one chat box and take a closer look. So this is where a person's webcam will be displayed. If you click the play button while selecting a name from the profile list on the right, it will do the same as request their cam. So click to play, or click play to view, and it will send a request to them. Also, you have the volume button here. You can mute, you can turn it up and down, all fairly straightforward, so that you get a nice comfortable setting when listening to their microphone. And then if you push play, you get a waiting for permission from MonkeyDo, and a message will appear on their cam like this, asking if they want to give you access. You can see the person's name is at the top here. Mine's MonkeyDo, is requesting the cam, and you can choose to accept it, or you can choose to deny it. But since I like MonkeyDo, he's a cool bloke, I will accept him. And as you can see, it will now load up MonkeyDo's webcam, and there he is. For free users, the camera quality is not quite as good as for a premium user, so that's another benefit of getting premium. But now we'll stop that camera, and then you can stop it at any time and stop viewing. Another thing to note is that when someone is viewing your cam, on their name, a small indicator will appear by the camera, which is an eyeball, which means they are now watching you, so you can keep track of who is and who isn't watching you. And if they are to switch off your camera, you will see that the I button will disappear again, and that just lets you know who's watching you and who isn't watching you, so you can then communicate to people more effectively. And that brings us to the end of our video tutorial. You've now seen all of the basic components of chat. We've got the upload pictures, we've got the your cam, we've got the other cams, the main chat box, and the profile list section. So thank you for watching. I hope it's been helpful, and I hope to see you around site. Feel free to talk to me, MonkeyDo, anytime you see me around. Take care, guys.